Tyson Fury sustains a cut over his eye, but is this hiding the truth? Let's get into it. Hello, welcome to I'm Edson. I hope you're all well. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. So, all fight fans, all boxing fans around the world have been shocked, stunned that Tyson Fury has sustained a cut over his eye in the lead up to the Undisputed fight against Usyk, of course. And now the fight is off. That's it. Well, quite rightly, okay? The fight is off. However, what is kind of surprising, perhaps, is that immediately as soon as the news came out, all online, the social media went up in a frenzy. And many of the fans, many boxing fans, many who possibly don't like Tyson Fury, basically come out and say, no, this was never going to happen. He's just pulling out. He's just shirking it. He's just doing all the things that you could possibly say negatively against Tyson Fury. They were saying it. Now, perhaps they were saying this before they actually saw any evidence. Perhaps. But many people out there believe that, hey, look, this fight was never going to happen. There's going to be something that would derail this. And guess what? Their prophecies have come true. Now, for me, it is one of those things. It is just one of those things in combat sports, whatever combat sport it is, that you can sustain any kind of injury in the lead up to the fight. So from that point of view, I don't blame Tyson Fury for pulling out the fight. Look, he can't fight, got a cut over this eye. Look, it's just not going to work, right? So I get that. And I think most people understand that. But also, you kind of question, well, when did this actually happen? There's been certain rumors in his training camp that they may not want to come out as well. You got to look at his history when he's been slating other fighters, like David Hay, when he sustained a cut in training and he had to pull out of his fight with Tyson Fury, how Tyson Fury reacted to him, coming out with all sorts of negative comments towards him as well. So I think this is kind of a lot of fans thinking, well, first of all, you talk a load of crap. We don't really trust what you're saying. You don't really have the fights that we want you to have at the fights. Now this is the biggest undisputed fight out there. And now you sustained a cut. Now, there's been lots of conspiracy theories already saying, well, look, maybe he did this himself, or maybe he's manufactured a cut. Maybe the cut isn't real. Maybe it's some kind of Photoshop type deal. Look, I think that the cut is real. Now, how he sustained it, why he sustained it, are different questions. Was there any kind of safeguard in there to prevent him getting a cut? I mean, who knows? And what I mean by that is, what kind of head guard was he wearing? You know, should he have been more careful? But you can't go into sparring or preparation for a fight with the kind of fear that you're going to get a cut. You can't do that. You got to go full force. And it's only, let's say, a week, 10 days before the actual fight where you're going to start toning it down, and then just stop the sparring, and then basically just keep yourself in trim, relax before the actual fight as well. I mean, the work is done by then. Really, it's just about getting yourself ready for the fight. So this happened. I think it's just a freak accident. But the question is this, and this is, I suppose, the question that I would have for anybody. Does it hide the actual truth? The actual truth, or the question that could expose the truth is, well, was Tyson Fury actually ready for this fight? And what the images that we've seen, are they real? When were they actually taken? Who took them? You know, all sorts of questions, really. So some boxing commentators have already said, well, there's no timestamp on this video or this still image of his eye, so we don't actually know when it happened. Some are saying, well, this happened a few days ago. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and they're only claiming it happened today. Okay, I've no evidence to say that as well. What I'm more interested in, say, actually the appearance and the preparation of Tyson Fury. I've kind of been looking at his social media and also some of the images that he's had over the last few weeks. And I'm just wondering whether the images that we're seeing or have seen in the last few weeks, whether they're actually of now or whether they're of some time in the past. Because sometimes he appears to be really, really slim, and other times he seems to be carrying a little bit more weight. Now, I know you can't always get a true gauge of this on social media, let's say, because you can take a photo today, but you might release it in 2 weeks' time, and then in 2 weeks' time, your body might have changed again. But obviously, if you're slim 1 week and then a couple of weeks later you're carrying a bit more mass, that doesn't really look that good. Your weight is yo-yoing quite a lot. Now, in an ideal sense, you want to see a gradual decrease in weight or a gradual increase in your fitness. Having to shed loads of weight and then maybe put it back on in a training camp isn't really a good way to go, is it? Also, if he has been shedding a lot of weight, then maybe that's not working well for him physically as well, just so he can prepare for this fight properly. But you would imagine that he's got nutritionists on board, he's got a proper strength and conditioning fitness team on board that will protect him against that. But it just seems to me that when you start analysing the imagery that's come out of the last month and a half, there seems to be, it seems to fluctuate. There seems to be holes in it. So you wonder, okay, as this eye, this cut over the eye, I mean, I don't believe that's intentional. I think that's a bit of a red herring, I've got to say. But given the form of the way he's acted over the years, and then, you know, masking the truth, is it the truth? Is it not the truth? Whilst the cut over the eye might be the truth, how he got it, who knows? It just could be a freak accident. And they got to look at themselves and say, this can't happen again. But things do happen, of course. But is it really hiding the fact that he wasn't really properly prepared for this fight? Or his physical condition wasn't really that good anyway? And he was having problems in his camp. This was being exposed by other fighters. Maybe they've all had to sign non-disclosure agreements to say, you know, you can't say anything. And possibly that's, you know, part of the course really in this kind of world. But he's got 2 weeks to go into the Usyk fight. And maybe he was ready, maybe he wasn't. Now, in a legitimate sense, I really feel for Tyson Fury because he's got a cut. This is the biggest fight of let's say, of this generation. It's for the Undisputed. It's a big money fight. And what's going to happen now? What's going to happen with the event? What's going to happen with timelines in terms of Usyk fighting? He's probably have to fight a mandatory under the IBF as well. Does Hrgovic step in? There's talk of that. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. What happens with the AJ and Ngannou fight in terms of pressure maybe to move those guys around? You know, what happens post that fight as well? Because really we were all aiming for a Fury-AJ fight in some time in the future. Certainly a repeat of the Fury-Usyk fight in a 2-fight deal. And then, of course, Ngannou-Fury as well. That's kind of the pathway which we're aiming to walk along. So now, because this fight has been cancelled or postponed, I should say, that throws a big spanner in the works. So this cut over the eye is kind of masking a lot of truths, or maybe questions. Well, was he really prepared? Tyson Fury, was he really prepared? Was he physically in really good condition to go into the Usyk fight? Now that he's not, because of the cut over the eye, what about this whole house of cards that the Saudis have built up? It's kind of always dependent on this Usyk-Fury fight going ahead. Now it's not going ahead. We've already had it rearranged from December 23rd last year. They quickly rallied round to put on a really good card then with AJ, of course, and Deontay Wilder on the card. Not fighting each other, of course, but on the card. Now all this is going to fall by the wayside again. So, look, lots of questions here. What's going to happen? It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next couple of weeks with Tyson Fury coming out. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more evidence coming out and a lot more speculation. And of course, we're here from the Saudis as well. In fact, by the time this video comes out, we might already know a little bit more as well. But listen, let us know your thoughts in the comments below on Tyson Fury. Is this something? Do you know what? Of all the crap that he's talked over the years, is this kind of what he deserves? I'm not really sure that's called for. But again, lots of people have said this fight would never take place and that will never take place in the future. And the problem is, as I said, because of this pullout, it screws up the whole timeline for the future. And you don't know. These guys are already a little bit older. Time isn't on their side. What's going to happen? Who knows? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Was this cut intentional? I don't think it was. But should this cut have happened? Definitely they've got to look at the way they've been training and maybe what kind of guards they should have been using, you know, and the tactics and the kind of sparring they should have been using. Yeah, look, they can all look at that. But I would just say this is just a freak cut accident. It's happened. He can't fight, but was he really ready for this fight? This is an interesting one, and I'm basing this on purely on the images, and it just seems to be, you know, a bit of backward and forward, you know, in terms of the way he looks and the things he said, and it just doesn't seem quite right. There's a nagging doubt, you know, that I've got to say that something's not quite right in his preparation. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, don't forget to like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notifications bell for all future videos. And I will catch you again on another video coming very soon. Hopefully, when we will have a proper undisputed fight. Catch you again. Bye now. you.